Good morning. Welcome to Sunrise Stroll and Chat. This cloud tells me we might have some exciting colour this morning. We always have exciting colour, but you know, it's a different format. It's not hazy. Well, it is a little bit, but not like it used to be last week or the week before. So we might be in for some surprises this morning. So we're starting a little early because I want you to have that if it happens. I'm getting a little bit of feel for these things, but wouldn't consider myself an expert in interpreting the way that cloud formation will be. There's actually quite a piece of thick cloud, if it's not haze, there over the Golan right now. Not too high, but it could delay things a little, but we have lots to enjoy meanwhile. Maybe you can even hear the jet ski is down here a little bit south of us in this direction towards Tiberias. Just to get your bearings here, we take a little look around. So now we did full circle. We'll check out this crow here first. Come on, crow. There we are. The moon is rising earlier, so tonight we'll have a gorgeous moon. Really, really gorgeous. Gives me an idea. Maybe we can do a little spot this evening. Not promising, but it could be the opportunity. So we got a long reading today from Jeremiah. Not sure if you've read it already. I wonder if we could surprise a couple of birds here. The cranes are usually in here, and I've never been able to catch them very well. Let's see. They're big white cranes. I think that's their right name. There we have them. Look at two of them. Just leaving there. So just make a note of the time it was. You can come back and see it and do slow motion afterwards. But there were two of them over there, so they flew out very low over the reeds, so there wasn't a great contrast to notice. Had an interesting conversation here yesterday, a brief conversation with a man and his son. And you know our little house over there, I've shown it to you many times. And he said he was born in the kitchen there in 1963. Can you imagine? It's amazing the turns in life. And he was there with his son. They're celebrating the Muslim feast of the sacrifice of Abraham. That's still going on. It's 3 to 4 days. I hadn't realized. It's funny, you can be in a place for a long time and not realize everything. Of course, there's so much to realize. But they're celebrating that for 3 or 4 days. And it's contemplating Abraham's willingness to follow God. Big deal, you know. Big deal. So we have a lot in common. We obviously have tremendous estrangements. Imagine a family that the couple falls in love and they have a family and have kids, and then there's a huge, huge fight, huge civil war in that home. And there can be tremendous hatred and tremendous challenge. But they still have a lot in common. And how to build on that, to rebuild civility and to rebuild bonds. And this gentleman was so kind and so nice, and his very younger brother was there with him. And then his son, 14-year-old son. Do you like this scenery? It's not sunrise, you know, we're way ahead of sunrise. We were just strolling around here. I'm tempted to pitch camp here for a moment, and because we've got something big there to digest, something difficult, something not easy. I want to do a little bit more background for you first, and I didn't get to do that, my own preparation. But some nice thoughts came this morning. So I think you like to sit here and enjoy this for a while. And let's read a little bit of this text, okay? And you can watch how the sky evolves. I'm not sure if this is the best angle. If I went back here a little bit, maybe you can get even a better take, because we can take more of the water in and get more sky reflection. Oh, I found there was a thing for reflections, and I meant to do one this weekend and I didn't do it. But that's life. Okay, maybe this is better here. Now you see you get more sky and more water for the price of the same deal, you know. And by the way, talking about money, I want to say a big thank you to all those who are stepping up to help cover the costs of our new equipment. And a huge thank you, praying for you. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and make sure you send that personal note to me on the messenger, or some of you are doing it there publicly on this chat. And you can continue signing up. I sent out the first WhatsApp message this morning to the group, so all of you who are already signed up got to have that. So if you scroll down later in the description text of this Sunrise Stroll and Chat, you can see the link, and you just click on there. And WhatsApp is very easy. It's just like another app, and WhatsApp should give us a commission for promoting it so much, but it's a fantastic tool for communication. And you can do free telephone calls all over the world, and you can do different things like that. But it's a very handy way, and it's a one-way street in this particular group, because I put the settings in that only the administrator can send out. So you can't talk back, so people aren't burdened by tons of conversations. And you can check out of it anytime, you can leave it anytime you want. It's just a way for me to be able to send you a little update like this morning about starting a little early. So let's go to the readings. I hope I got that here. You know, I think I omitted one thing in all my smartness. Okay, so I'm going to have to work from memory, people, but you can help me, and you could post it there, and you're going to be a step ahead of me by doing that. Jovi always does that from Alberta. She posts the text, and I can't really get involved with those now because they're going to slip up the screen on me. But so the text is from Jeremiah. So we're continuing. Jeremiah is a pretty long text. After Isaiah, I think it's the second longest prophetic text. That's why they're arranged in that order. And it's about another prophet whose name is Hananiah. And Hananiah declares a prophecy that Babylon is going to return all of the accoutrements of the temple, all the sacred vessels, within 2 years. And all this problem will be over. And we'll be back to normal. The coronavirus will be fixed and everything will be okay next week. Right? So he comes out with this big announcement, and he announced it as the will of God. He announces as the will of God. That's like a huge statement, you know, and you get a lot of people like that. You know, if you don't forward this message to all your friends, you know, you're going to break the chain and you won't have the blessing. Well, give me a break. That's not the way God works. You have all kinds of people doing that. I never forward those messages, by the way. And if I do, if the message really has substance, then I always take out that piece of it. But I would never forward that to anybody. That's not the way God works, I think. So, and that's the big issue here in this reading today is, who can be a prophet? Who can speak for God? The word prophet, look at all these little birds. Can you see them? There's a bunch of them. Come over here, birds. Look at them. Look at all these birds. Can you see them? They're so small. Let me open up the screen a little bit here. There are tons of them. And they're so happy jumping around. So anyways, let me get me back on track here, people. So the question is then, to speak for somebody. So who can set up a prophet to speak for somebody? And that was a major issue. And I think it is still today, because there are many people claim to speak for God. And then the question is, how do we know? And there's a discernment going on and a grappling for what the future holds. And that's another aspect that sometimes the prophets have shed light, because they brought a word from God to urge conversion. So now, and that's something that continues to grow, actually. It's amazing, because there's an awful lot to say about this theme. Well, anyway, one of the first things that Jeremiah gives a criteria, and he says, look at, only when the prophets speak doom is it for sure. When they speak peace, we will only know that it's true when it's fulfilled. I need to ponder this also an awful lot more, people, but that's what's there in the text, okay? When you read the text, you'll see it. I'm sorry I don't have the text with me. I didn't connect the thing properly, so it's just not in my feed here, so I can't give it to you. I didn't have it downloaded, and I don't have the connection right here now to do that. So, or maybe I could. Let me see, maybe I can do this another way. Let me see. Well, anyway, I know the idea. So let me stay focused on this. So then, what happens? Does the prophet speak on behalf of God, or does he speak from his own gut feeling? Is God really speaking through the prophet? Look at how that sky is changing. Look at the cloud is beginning to get tinged as the sun is rising. I think we're going to have some beautiful color. The whole cloud is getting tinged. Just slightly on the fringes where it's lighter, you see, over there to the right, and at the edges of the different parts of the cloud, the different breaks. You know, this is going to be a gorgeous sky this morning. Well, it's already gorgeous. So in a certain sense, Jeremiah calls check, like not checkmate, but check in playing chess, you know. And then the next thing is Hananiah comes on stronger. And so he breaks the yoke. Oh, there are all the birds back again. Can you see them? Like there are dozens of them. They're so small. I don't want you to miss the change in color here, but when those birds came in, I had to look at them. So then, there we have Hananiah breaking the yoke, and Jeremiah comes really strong against him, and he dies within the year. Jeremiah prophesied it. And you know the thought that came to me? He already had died as a prophet because he wasn't speaking on behalf of God. Like the exile just got worse. It wasn't relieved, it wasn't released. So I think we should pray for all the people who claim to be speaking for God and putting out messages and distributing stuff. And it's really there cooking up. And we need to pray, and please pray for me as well, because you see, an awful lot of ego gets involved. And it's already involved from scratch because we need a lot of purification. And we need to be purified so that we're listening to God's words. And if I remember correctly, The psalm is, Lord, teach me your commands. Teach me your statutes. I think that's the rendering that's there today in the responsorial verse. If somebody can just confirm that there with one message, that'll be fine. Just, I think that's it. Lord, teach me your commands. Teach me your statutes. You know? And that's it. That's where it's at. It's like us listening and receiving. It's not us rationalizing and producing and making the program that God needs to follow. No, it's us being open to receive. You know, there's a big problem with all the gender confusion, but there's an incredible depth also mystically in gender. And there's the receiving, the feminine, and then there's the masculine, the giving part of for the fertility. And humanity in that sense is feminine because it's receiving from God the gift of creation. And it's receiving the inspirations in the spiritual life. And that's why we have to be in a receiving mode before God. We're not totally passive because He gave us great liberty. But we need to be very aware that we're the ones receiving the dawn. We're the ones receiving the light. We're not enlightened by ourselves. We can help each other to receive the light. We can help to educate each other. We can help a child to learn how to read and write and understand wisdom, the incredible sacred vocation of parents and of teachers in the faith. But always recognizing the first wisdom, the first truth is we are created. We didn't make ourselves. And when we forget that, we're in big, 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 big trouble. Because then we go out on our own, and that's where we have the scene of the gospel today, which is also in that sense completely tied in, where we have the storm on the sea, and we have Jesus walking on the water, and the disciples are like scared, doubly scared, because they were first of all scared and completely tense about the storm. And now they're triply scared, doubly scared, because they see this ghost walking on the water, and Jesus says, it's me. And Peter said, if it's you, let me walk on the water with you. And this is the water, people. This is the Sea of Galilee. We're not at the Atlantic Ocean. We're not at the Pacific. We're not in the South Sea. We're not in the Irish Sea. We're not in Galway Bay. We're here at the Sea of Galilee. This is the water. This is where this miracle happened. And this spiritual experience more important than the miracle. The spiritual experience that the apostles had. And Peter is walking on the water. The others can't believe it. But then he starts noticing the waves, and he's no longer looking at Jesus. He's seeing the challenge for him with his little resources, and he's trying to figure out, how am I going to do it? Well, you're not going to do it. You're doing it because Jesus invited you to come after you asked if He would invite you. And so you need to stay focused on Jesus. Wow, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. Look, there is the sun. I'm sure you got tons of screenshots. I can imagine all kinds of videos and Instagrams being loaded today with these pictures. Don't forget to put down the source, because not for me, but just to get people here connected to the Sea of Galilee. Just to get them connected to the blessings of reading the Word of God in the morning at the Sea of Galilee. Of listening to God, teaching us His statutes, pulling us out from sinking in our discouragement because we've wanted to figure it all out ourselves and we can't. Lord, teach us your statutes. Look at the reflection. Look at that sky. There's another jet ski out there, but let's stay focused on this beauty. You know, I just mentioned to you there to be sure to mention the source of the pictures, but the source, well, there's an iPhone involved. Well, what's the source? Well, the source is the creator, people. The source is our creator. It's just amazing. What a creator we have. And may this be the great lesson we deepen in during this corona period. We depend. And we're fragile. And we need to see why we live and how we live. And to discover the incredible love. Wow, all these birds, look at scores of them. Can you see them? Well, when over here maybe a little bit better with the in the light background. Against the clouds you can't see them. By the way, just a thought occurred to me since I sent out that first WhatsApp to the group this morning. If you want to just, at least a couple of you or some of you or all of you, it doesn't matter, just to confirm that you got it, just to make sure that system is working. I'm pretty sure it is, but just to be absolutely sure. Or if you put a comment there, a few of you put a comments on it there, you can just confirm that that messaging system works. And then those who want to join it, it's still available to you. You can just go into the group and you just click join and it does it automatically for you. You have nothing technical to do other than that. Just go into the link. Actually, I don't think that's Soder barking. I just saw a question there. It's another dog that was near us. And thank God he didn't wake me up last night. But I talked to the guy in charge of him last night and he said he wouldn't be barking. But he at least he was barking this morning at after 5. Well, maybe that's a different circumstance. But because I was actually awake for a while and I didn't hear him, so I'm happy. It's amazing the variety of birds and their deal. You remember way back at the beginning of the year there was a whole red cloud like this in the water. This is a black one now that's reflecting from the sky and the water here. Reflection is pretty good. Well, because of the boat action there are little ripples coming in. I'm not sure if that's the only cause. I'm tempted to do something for you tonight. I'm not sure of the program. I'm not sure what time it'll be with the moon, because the moon should be coming up. I wonder what time that would be. We were having dinner last night and it came up, so let's say 8, 9, and it's always earlier. So we should have maybe around, I'm not sure what time I will do it, but we should have an opportunity to see the moon for a little bit. Hopefully. Don't sue me if you don't get it, okay? But I'll send out a note if I do it. Today our plan is to go to Tel Dan, and we have a wonderful guide who is so generous, and he offered to give us a tour gratis, you know. And He's going to spend a couple of hours with us explaining Tel Dan, which is a biblical site with a tremendous amount of history from the Canaanite period. And then it's apparently the place where the oldest mention of David is, and then King Jeroboam in the split kingdom of the northern kingdom when the civil war happened between in the kingdom of Israel, and you had the northern kingdom and then Judea in the south and Jerusalem. So, did we catch these birds? Just be ready. Did you see the squadron? Oh, I should have got them ahead of time. I must be listening better the next time. So people, this was a delightful morning, an incredibly beautiful sunrise. I'm thrilled that you were with us, and I know for some of you now it's really nighttime and your eyes are closing, but in about an hour I'll be celebrating Mass on live stream as well. God willing, I'm going to go for a swim now. First of all, load this up on YouTube if I get a good connection. And by the way, if you have friends who don't do Facebook, many people can easily access YouTube because you can just open the link. So you can also get the link, you could even subscribe and then share it with your friends, and those who don't do Facebook can have access to these videos without the chat because it won't carry the chat. So I think we're going to say goodbye for now, and God bless you. Thank you for joining, and continue being blessed in this wonderful world that God has given us, and where we're invited to open our eyes and our ears to receive the beautiful gifts, and then to open our mouth to share them, and to share them especially with our heart, with the little details of love that the most needy around us could really be blessed by today. Small little thing, each small little gesture in your own home. There was a little fight, a little row, a little upset, a little gesture of reconciliation, and start a new day like God is giving us right now. God bless you from the Sea of Galilee. See you later.